seafarer, the compensation is rank-wise, for example. So most of the flags have it that way. So let's say the compensation is coming to 70,000 US dollars, but 16 weeks of wages comes to say $25,000. So you pay 70,000. The P&I will pay. So that's the higher amount, right? So whichever is higher, and generally speaking, most of the flag states, the compensation is much higher than the 16 weeks of wages. Okay. Now you as a ship owner are not liable under 452 under three what do you call situations. Number one, it is what you call intentionally concealed at the time of joining. So a seafarer has got some sickness X, Y, Z during the joining medical. You're supposed to make the declaration. Have you got this? And he puts it as no, I don't have. He's claiming I don't have that problem. Obviously, in a medical examination pre-joining, everything is not scanned. There is a limited test that are carried out, and so there's a lot that the person has to disclose for the historical medical history of running, and if seafarer decides not to disclose, so that means he has intentionally concealed that information. So after the seafarer joins, say he is hospitalized and undergoes treatment. So if it is discovered at that time, the doctor says, oh, well, he already had this problem since the last 1 year. So if it is proved that the seafarer had that existing ailment and he did not disclose it, then the ship owners are not liable to pay any compensation. That's situation number one. Situation number two, you are also not liable to pay if the seafarer is injured, or if there is a fatality, or if there is a disability, partial or permanent, due to willful misconduct. Yes, what is willful misconduct? Any examples? Willful misconduct.
Something.
Right?
Sabotaging sabotage, act of sabotage.
Act of sabotage, where he gets injured due to sabotaging or something, right? That means the injury is self-inflicted. Yeah.
Would it be non-compliant, not wearing PPE, or not following procedure?
Well, if it is, what you call, due to human error, I think the lack of discipline, it's one story. But if suppose it is, you see a seafarer who has been told more than once to wear PPE and he refused to wear. You told him second time, refused to wear, third time refused to wear, and you would log it down. Please remember, everything should be in black and white, verbally won't stand in the court of law. So if you find that repeatedly the seafarer has been warned 3-4 times and you've logged it down and told him that it's not safe, you're not supposed to wear, and if it doesn't, then obviously, actually you should terminate his services because he and actually recover the cost, because here the situation is he is in serious default of your what you call standards, wherein he's been reprimanded 3 or 4 times and still refuses to wear PPE. Anyway, coming to the other side, if after 3 or 4 proper lockdowns that you have done, he actually gets injured because of not wearing a helmet or PPE, then there's a very good chance that your company may fall in, that the seafarer may fall into this category, willful misconduct. Right? This is one. But one of the very clear examples of willful misconduct is if a person is attempted suicide or committed suicide, the suicide attempt becomes disabled or permanently disabled, or attempted suicide and actually died. So there's no compensation paid in case of suicide or attempted suicide. Okay, because that's a willful misconduct. The third situation is the injury or sickness or ill health has occurred not in the service of the ship. Seafarer is not in the service of the ship. So what is this meaning of not in the service of the ship? Anyone?
During shore leave is some injury or something.
No. During the shore leave, the Maritime Labour Convention encourages seafarers to go ashore. says seafarers should be allowed to go ashore and they should not be restricted. That means it is recommended that they should be given shore leave as far as possible. It's operationally safe, etc., etc. Then they should be given shore leave, provided the local authorities and permit and visa and all that stuff is in place. They should be sent ashore. So shore leave is very much in service of the ship. So what is the model of the story? Moral of the story is if the seafarer signs the contract on the 1st of Jan, seafarer signs the contract on the 1st of Jan, then from there he flies down to the office, from there he flies down to the port of joining, and he has to wait for the vessel. He joins the vessel say, on the 10th of Jan. So for 10 days, actually, seafarer has not even joined the ship. From the 7th, 8th, or 9th, before joining, he meets with an accident where wherever he is, he could be in a port, in a city where he's staying in a hotel, he's walking out, and he meets with an accident. So even then you are liable because the seafarer is deemed to be a seafarer from the day and the time the seafarer signs the contract, and he remains a seafarer till the seafarer is repatriated home. He is not in the service of the contract after the seafarer reaches home. Then he is not in the service of the ship. Okay, all good?
Can we say door to door?
You can actually say contract to door because you
Contract
see,
to door.
because there is a bit of a loophole here that if the office is in Jakarta and the seafarer is going to sign a contract in Jakarta, company says okay, fly down and reach Jakarta. So he flies down to Jakarta, but there is a casualty and the plane, lands up or he gets injured or he on the way, right? Who pays for that? Actually, he's not signed the contract. So, actually, but although he was called by the company, so, but anyway, in such a case, there's a good chance that the seafarer may lose in the court of law because the company can say, well, he's not in the service of the ship, we call him seafarer, but we were planning to give him join, but he's not signed the contract. So, in such a case, the company would, after signing the contract, if anything happens to the seafarer, till the time the seafarer is repatriated to his or her town as per the contract. Suppose repatriation terms are up to Jakarta, then Jakarta. But if it's up to the particular town, then it remains valid till then. Okay. There's a case in 2000. Yeah, there's a case in 2021 during the COVID period. There was one seafarer. He joined the company. This is a case where I personally don't know this seafarer's wife or the daughter, but there's someone who knew them, and that person contacted me and sort of told me that this is where they are and can you help them. So what exactly happened in this case? The seafarer flew out from his country. Okay, before flying out, the airline and the company required a COVID check. He was negative. He reached the port of joining. He flew down. He reached the port of joining. On arrival, it was negative. Now there was a company policy here. This is a very big company. This company is about a $10 billion company, not million, 10 billion. So, this guy reached the port. The company said the requirement is you have to stay for 15 days or 14 days in quarantine in a hotel before you actually join, right? So they have 60, 70 people on working on the ship. They don't want anyone getting infected. So he was quarantined in a company designated hotel for 14 days or something like that. Just in case there is something there, will come out. Unfortunately, in the hotel staff was infected and this person got infected. So after a few days in the hotel, he was shifted to the hospital. And after a few days in that hospital, he was shifted to another hospital and put into the ICU. I think some 15, 18 days, not 15, maybe less than that. Maybe 12, 14 days later, the seafarer unfortunately passed away. Now the company is in a compensation of 30K, 30,000 US dollars to the seafarer, and seafarer's wages were pretty good. So the compensation came. So the contract I said to me, and I asked for certain information about for the flag of the company and the what you call wages this guy was drawing, blah blah blah. So I said, certainly this is far less than what this person is supposed to get. You should be getting somewhere in the region of 440,000 US dollars. He's got this 30,000. So they said, can you help us? I said, I can help you. But if I help you directly, if I contact them, they might say, who are you? And they'll say, please provide an affidavit that you're acting on behalf of. So I said, you do one thing, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm going to give you in writing what to do through emails and just continue that correspondence. So I did this correspondence, and we also had, I had a lawyer also, a friend of mine, who was in that particular city where the flag was, and it was a Singapore flag was there. So I had a lawyer actually whom I discussed. I said, I'll just contact you if I need you. And when this, we went on for almost, it was almost for 2.5, 3 months. And they were hell bent. And we went on to the flag state. The flag state agreed that yes, compensation has to be paid. And as per this particular formula, and that's working on 240, US dollars. So even then, the company was, not doing that. Then finally, the day I contacted the lawyer, the message just went on. It reached within a matter of 48 hours at the company, and then the company immediately called up and they said, okay, we are compensating. So eventually the company got that compensation, right? So what I'm trying to say is that please remember that this company actually shouldn't have done all this circus because payment is done by PNI. Yes, no doubt your premium will increase, but it's a seafarer's life. So, this company shouldn't be taking for granted that seafarers sitting in XYZ part of the world cannot reach out and not able to, will be able to get away and things like that by just, farming off a small amount, a big amount of $30,000, maybe big for that particular seafarer's family in that particular country, but it's not justifiable. Eventually, the company paid that amount, and so that's the story about which I mentioned to you on the compensation part. That means whether the seafarer is in the service solution. Right? All good. So 4.2 is clear. So financial security, right? And and for this, there is an insurance P&I cover. The certificate for 4.2 and 2.5 should be posted in common areas so that every joining seafarer can see that you are covered under 2.5 abandonment and that the seafarer is also covered under insurance for medical and claims and hospitalization, etc. under 4.2. So if this cover is not there, seafarer has 100% right to seek complete repatriation back home. Sorry, your ship doesn't cover me under 2.5 or 4.2. So thank you very much. Please send me arrange for my repatriation back to my hometown. And normally it doesn't happen. I'm just saying that it is seafarers' rights. Okay, so that's 4.2. 4.1, medical care on board ship. That means every seafarer should be provided with medical kits on board, medical guide, and every company should arrange for 24/7 radio medical advice, free radio medical advice on the ship. All ships normally have that, so that should be that's being put into MLC in black and white that they should be 24/7 free radio medical advice available. The medical kits on board should be in compliance with flag state or WHO requirements, and yeah, right to visit the doctor and the dentist. Dentist has been added in MLC, it was never there. Dentist is never included in most of the organizations in the world, the showbiz industry, but it's been included in the maritime industry, except you seafarer can't be going for cosmetic treatment. You can't go and tell the dentist, can you please replace all my teeth and give me gold teeth. So we can't do that. It's only for any treatment that's permissible. And medical report is confidential, right? And yeah, okay, right. So medical report is confidential in the sense that the relevant person can be shown for the PSC inspector comes, can I see the medical report? Or if the chief says I find that this particular person is not working very well and have a look at his medical report? Can I see that? Or an internal auditor comes, or something like that. Yes, they are entitled to see. But otherwise, in other words, the medical report should not be kept in such a place where any person can open up a file and have it. So it's
Well, here's the question. I mean, why would they have an interest in see that? Why would they have an interest to see if a seafarer has been at the doctor? Why would they need to see that report? I mean, an external party, an auditor or an inspector. Why would they need to see a person's medical report?
Question. Right, good question. So basically, why the PLC inspector may like to see is a random, like a sample, and we've got 20 crew members. Can you please show me the crew report of one of the crew members? Basically, what he wants to see that are your crew members being subjected to a medical examination as per NLC requirements? Is your doctor a medical practitioner, flight approved? And are you actually are your seafarers on board what we call certified by the medical practitioner fit for duty or fit for service? So these are the things you would like to. You would like to verify compliance with the MLC requirements, he or she, the inspector. So
but would it be enough to ask the seafarer, the auditor or inspector, ask the seafarer, Mr. X, so you was at the doctor's at that time, etc., because of something, and then if he say yes, and he can show yes, the agent picked me up and the agent took me here to this address and to that hospital, wouldn't that be good enough to show that actually the actual event took place, so to speak?
No, not at all. Verbally, nothing is what you call verbally. The inspector can ask some other questions, not this. This is an evidence on record because there is a record that provides evidence of compliance that the seafarer is fit for duty. And what is that record medically? It's the medical certificate. So the port state control or any inspector or even an external auditor, they have the right to. They don't ask. They will generally never ask. Please open up all the 25 medical reports. I want to see all the seafarers. They probably just check out one or two. Now, what is it that port state control inspector or an external auditor can actually ask verbally? So verbally, what he can ask the seafarer, and by the way, this is permitted as per the Maritime Labour Convention and practices. The seafarer can be taken in a separate room, the port state control. Hey, hi seafarer, tell me one thing. How's the food quality? Is it okay? Is it in terms of quality and quantity? So, and are you getting your wages in time? And you get fully paid or holding back something? And so these are the questions the seafarer can be asked by an inspector because the inspector is checking is the company compliant. So if I ask the captain, are you yes, both you're paying wages? Is the food yeah, food is perfectly alright, sir. Quality wise excellent, sir. Quantity excellent. So this is the information you would like to hear from the bosses now. So yeah, so there are this information we will bank on the seafarer. If seafarer says no, they are not getting enough food. We are having a problem. Hey, Captain, are you? Can you please talk your mic?
Saya kena cari kan di satu jenis semua besar kecil jaga cuba.
Noted, can you mute your mic? Yeah, thanks. So this is something inspector can ask.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Right. So then we go to 4.3, health and safety protection and access. The 4.3 is a mini ISM code. So whatever is in 4.3 is already there in an ISM code. 4.3 talks about DMS reporting, non-conformity closure, incident investigation. It talks about safety meetings. It talks about safety committees. It talks about so all that stuff is already there in ISM. So 4.3 can actually it's already implemented. 4.4 talks to see access to shore-based welfare facilities. What I was telling you sometime back, it is the seafarers are encouraged to go ashore. That means they believe, and I think all of us know, being seafarers, that when we go ashore, it's like a computer working for many hours and starts hanging. So when you shut down and you restart, reboot it, the computer starts working. So similarly, going ashore is very much that line, that means it's like a reboot when the seafarer comes back, he's generally fit and fresh. So 4.4 encourages seafarers to go ashore, and this one, in fact, 4.4, and there's another. That's the other clause is 2.4. 2.4 also encourages that seafarers should be sort of encouraged, or like not encouraged means they should be permitted to go ashore. And was also to say that the expenses for surely should be borne by the company. If you have something like a launch service or something, you don't expect the seafarers to pay that fee incorrect. Any visas required, the company has to pay for that. Okay. We are at 4 point. Yeah, Swaminathan, you're saying something.
This particular port being found that it is quite expensive to surely. And if the crew insists, then we are so obliged.
Well, I think here the it's like in the MLC, everything is not black and white. You know. There are certain gray areas. So it's not that if you say refused and say we can't give you, it's too expensive, and you've been giving them surely when every port, and the flag may take it with a pinch of salt if the seafarer complains. But what I think here is required is a good understanding between the ship staff and the office staff, that like where you are you're saying okay fine, you can't send everybody on shore, you send a lot or something, so you have a good understanding with them, so that you are in compliance with MLC, and they also do not become over demanding. So you are in a way you have justified your stance that okay we are giving you one launch service or something like that, so that part of you can go, the remaining can go next time or in the other port or something like that. So there's no hard and fast rule here, but I would suggest that instead of getting into whether you should or you should not, see how you can fulfill this, and follow the middle path, if not extreme right or extreme left. So it'll do good for you, for your group, and also for conveying the message to the flag of your company's intent. That intent is very important. Right? Please remember, when you come to the complaints part, I'll explain to you the repercussions. It may not happen, but you must know the very part of it. Right? So yeah, Carl, please go ahead.
I was reading that regulation 4.4, and of course here, an owner might then start pushing and say, okay, so how do we define a welfare facility? So, okay, guys, where are you going? To which welfare facility are you intending to go? I mean, I can see that some owners might start pushing on this, even if it's $300 for a service.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that the expenses could be too high.
Yeah, so someone will start pushing on welfare facilities and say, okay, so where are you going? Which welfare facility is this? Right? I know it's sad to say, but I know it has happened before.
Yeah, I think these are some areas, sometimes the launch is $500, $600, and company doesn't want, owners don't want to pay, managers find it difficult. So there are these things, and normally these things won't happen too much with ownership companies. It happens a bit more for the ship management companies, who are they're trying to save money whatever they can. So I think if the ship management, uh, bad ship management culture, I'm not saying blanket ship management culture, but substandard and called fly by night approach of ship management companies. They've actually responsible for the way the shipping industry is terms of standards on safety. Even seafarers today, what is the like they hardly command any sort of say. Even the International Maritime Organization talks about seafarers' well-being, but actually does nothing in reality, right? So and that's one of the reasons why people are not sailing on ships. You check it out that how many people who have joined sea after 1995, how many people who have joined sea career after 95 or 1990, 1995, what is it? What about something like the, would actually be putting their kids into this profession? They say stay out of it. But this was not the case in 70s and 80s, right? So the profession has deteriorated to this time again. Okay, so health and safety access to showbiz. Social security is a work in progress. This is actually very much like what you have in developed countries or you have in Singapore, CPF. So the CPF is where the seafarer puts in, say, for example, $400 every month. The company puts $400 and this goes into a pension account and this is relevant to the first seafarer only at retirement at 60 plus or whatever, he's able to recover. So there's a social security. This is work in progress. We not except the developing nations, the developed world, the developing economies still do not have a mandatory 4.5 social security. Okay. So these are some amendments coming in, and there was a question about internet. Now have a look here. You see, guideline B442. This is an amendment. Provide internet services on ships and port anchorages. Charges it to be reasonable in amount. So they are talking about even in an amendment that's coming. We're talking about in Part B. Why could they not put this in Part A? So in the ensure prompt disembarkation of seafarers in need of immediate medical care from ships. I hope you can hear this. My sound problem is not there like earlier. Noise quality is okay. Sound quality.
Good.
It's better.
Yeah, thanks. So where a seafarer has died during a ship voyage, the member, now this is, like something new. The member whose country the death has occurred, or where the death has occurred in the high seas, into whose territorial water the ship next enters, shall facilitate repatriation of the body or ashes by the ship owner according to the wishes of the next of kin as appropriate. Seafarers should be considered in need of immediate medical care in cases such as any serious injury or disease, any injury or disease might lead to temporary or permanent disability, any communicable disease imposes risk of transmission to other crew members, any injury involving broken bones, severe bleeding, burns, broken or inflamed teeth, severe pain which cannot be managed on board ships, suicide risk, and telemedical advisory service recommending treatment ashore. Thumb rule. Thumb rule in medical. There is sometimes the pressure by the company, oh, never mind, captain. What is the doctor is recommending, sir, to divert the vessel and land the patient, land the seafarer. So it's going to be about, we can reach port in the next 8-10 hours if we have diversion. And so is it okay, sir? Oh, no, but you're reaching port in 48 hours. So why don't you keep the seafarer? Never mind. Just don't worry about what doctor says. In 2 days you'll be home, so you don't need to worry. And then after 12 hours, the captain calls up, sir, as per your advice, I continued. I'm very sorry to say the seafarer has died. Carl, can happen.
Yeah, sorry, I missed what you said there. I believe, but yeah, of course it's possible. Yes,
It's
I wouldn't
actually
be surprised.
happened.
I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I know of 2 cases where this has happened, and where what has happened. The consequences. The consequences of such the captain, and on that on one vessel, they got the shore advice, and one of the officer's wife was a doctor, professional doctor. She would accompany her husband for that trip. And she also believed that I think the vessel should divert because of the sea. But the captain stuck to his, he was reaching Europe. He says, we're going to be there there's no point diverting to Canary Islands. And unfortunately, the seafarer died. So, the consequences to the captain. The captain went berserk, and actually, I think even mentally, he had sort of collapsed, or he had gone a bit crazy in the sense he realized he had committed a murder. So the question is that the company, of course, is completely wrong in doing that, and you know what you call. So this particular what you call seafarer died, and there's another case where there was this commercial decision to override. So please keep in mind, you can be the DP of the company, you can be the owner of the company. When it comes to any advice such as medical advice, please stick to the domain expert. If the domain expert, the shore doctor, says he must be landed ashore ASAP, stick to that. If you take some other decision because of commercial pressure, you will be responsible for it if anything goes wrong. But if you take, because this is not your action, it is the medical, it's a professional doctor's advice. So don't play around with doctor's advice. Yes, Carl, please go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in this case where you said maybe the company there, of course, had an effect on the master in his decision. But again, master has overriding responsibility and authority, right? Besides
Yes.
the rules and regulations, so he could himself have deemed the situation necessary and then say, okay, I have to divert the vessel.
But in both these cases, the master was trying to impress the commercial department and continued with their thing. So their problem is with the master, not with anybody else. So it was not that the master wanted to divert and the company was saying don't divert. Then the master can take an overriding decision.
Okay, so you say here the master did this because he wanted to be good, be good and show
Exactly.
good. Okay, my God.
Good.
Okay.
Reasonable precautions to prevent occupational accident injuries and disease and board provisions of appropriate set PPE. So basically, here they're focusing on PPE for women and men. So they should be of appropriate size because they probably observe that PPE on board may not fit everyone. So there may be something fits in, something doesn't fit. So they said they should be adequate, appropriate size for males and females. All that seafarers are adequately investigated and reported to Director General and so onwards in 2024. They were going to be preparing a global register. And what is the information? Type of death, ship type, cross tonnage, location of fatality, at sea, in port, or at anchorage, seafarer's sex, age, occupational position, and department. Then they're going to bring this for future improvement. So this is what you'll be seeing in future. Title 5 talks about these responsibility flag state, post state labor supply. We can actually skip this. But if we go on to this last slide here, I think it's the last one. Yeah, so there is onboard complaint you're all familiar with, but remember there's something more serious. That's onshore complaint. A seafarer has the right to go ashore and complain to the port authorities, just like you have an onboard complaint complaining to the master. You have an onshore complaint. You can go to any port. You can go to Lagos and land up to the port authority. Sir, I have a complaint. So the local authorities, the port authorities would like to know whether the seafarer registered a complaint or not, and if not, then what are the reasons? He might say, I have a complaint against the master. So obviously, he's going to register the complaint. So whatever it is, the onshore complaint, if it is investigated, that if it is found that it is genuine, the ship may be detained, and in case adequate action is not taken against in resolving this complaint, closing this complaint, and all that stuff of flag and owners, all that being informed, that will be done well in advance. But in case of no action, the port, Nigerian Port Authority, whichever port authority here in this context they got, the Nigerian port authorities have to inform the International Labour Organization, Director General. This communication has to go directly to ILO. That so and so vessel so and so flag state, so and so the problem, and it's not been resolved. So this is a onshore complaint. Okay, right. All good. Everyone's clear about that, and then you have this last one, which tells you ISPS documentation, and SSP is only on ships. You can keep a copy for your reference in the office. Nobody stops you from doing that as long as it is in a secured, what we call manner. Audits on ships are only carried out for MLC ISP's audits, not done in the office, right? ISP's findings are to be closed immediately. When you have a finding, you have to close it right now. If you downgrade. ISM and MLC findings can be closed in a timely manner. You can take your time depending on the nature of the So we are actually finished the MLC part as well, and let's check out before we go to our next stage, which is assessment. I would like to just go one by one to all of you, just to check if you have anything that you wish to clarify and ask before we go for our assessment, right? Okay. So let me just go to first to Sita. So Sita, is your microphone okay or is it problematic? If it's problematic, just drop us a message in the chat so I know that you're not in a position to respond.